would I recommend you go to interview Kickstarter? If you've been thinking about interview Kickstarter and you feel like you have the discipline to do 12, 15 hours of extra work per week to get to where you want to go, I would recommend it to almost anybody. When I first looked at interview Kickstart, it was because I wanted to improve as an engineer. In my head, I thought, okay, what level of value do I need to provide to be earning in the 200s or 300s level? And I decided that the only way to learn that was to go and learn from staff engineers, senior and staff engineers at the major companies. Because I knew tons of people who spent lots of times on lead code, a lot of time learning different programming language, learning different frameworks, but they weren't making at that level. And what I want to know was, what is the difference? What's the difference? So I joined Interview Kickstarter, and I learned, wow, first, all these algorithms and data structures I thought I understood, I only scratched the surface. There's so much here. There's so much depth of knowledge, wisdom, and intelligence and cleverness in the way of thinking. There's so much ground covered here in IK. The prize, though, the prize as a software engineer, I would say, is the system design, distributed system design, and object modeling, API design, these higher order concepts that become more and more important the more senior you become. So the algorithms are extremely valuable, but the systems design and the API design and object modeling become tremendously valuable at a senior level. And it is those types of things are things that companies look at to determine, hey, are you at, are you at the the third level, which is entry level, or the fourth level, or are you more senior than that? Are you 5, 6, or 7? And obviously numbers are different by company. So I will tell you that I went through those portions of those courses, and since then, before then and since then, I have not had anyone teach me systems design better than IK. And I've looked online, I've looked up YouTube videos, probably all the things that you're doing. There's no one out there who teaches it as well, because somehow they manage to get all these staff engineers, and really this is on the order of secret knowledge. This is what is talked about in conventions, but not hours and hours of it from the same instructor. So if you want to level up as an engineer, I would highly, highly recommend Interview Kickstart. As far as your job search goes, this is also going to position you to do extraordinarily well in landing that job, because you're going to be able to show the talents, the skills that you need in the way you speak about code. Also, in the system design portion of the interview, or the related part of the interview, there's generally a part that determines how highly you're ranked. You'll be able to present yourself really well. And one of the benefits of leaving IK, I stayed with my job. I got a huge promotion, but one of the benefits was that I knew if I ever had to find a job, I would have no concern whatsoever. It's the technical portion of the interview does not worry me. Now, the second thing that IK provided was an incredible resume workshop. They did negotiation. They went over negotiation. There's like 20 to 30 hours of video on just career, on how to interview at Amazon specifically, or how to deal with behavioral interviews, and a very thought out process of what kind of questions to ask. How do you plan your steps, like your timeline for applying to these different companies? That all matters. There are a lot of people who are trying to peddle career advice. Honestly, I expected when I came to IK, I would receive a lot of the same advice that I had in the past, but this was very fine-tuned to the software engineering industry, particularly the Bay Area software engineering industry. the supply-demand equation is different here. It's not like anywhere else. So what you do to get this job is very, very different. The way you present yourself to get an engineering job is very, very different than how you present yourself to get an accounting job or another professional job, because there's just such a high demand, and the skills make you sort of this. You're not a commodity. You're definitely special. And IK does a very good job of teaching that nuance in a way that no one else, and in a way no one else really does. So, does it prepare you for a career search? Yes, it absolutely does. And the people I know who've gone through it have done extremely well in finding a job that is higher level. You should know that this is not an entry level program. IK, like, had I come into IK being very inexperienced as a developer, it would be tremendously hard. You need to have some level of experience, because this program is to take you to a position where you can apply to the higher senior level positions and the staff level positions and have a very good shot of getting those. Be able to walk in with tons of confidence, knowing that there's nothing that can trip you up in this technical interview, and that you'll also do extremely well in the behavioral interview. So that said, if you have the time and energy, it will take you a lot of work. This is, probably 12 hours of work per week is what I would say. So plan on it just sort of rolling over your life for a bit. You need to have the commitment. It's expensive. It is like something that costs a lot of money. So make sure that you are committed to it to start, because the worst thing that you could possibly do is sign up for a course like this where there's tons of value offered and not stick it through the end. It's only a short period of time, but if you can stick through, you will change your life. So I hope this review of Interview Kickstart has helped you make this decision. And I would say to the staff that if anyone wants to talk to me personally about my experience, I would also be happy to have a short conversation at some point. But I would highly recommend you guys give it a serious thought and put yourself out there, because you can execute at a higher level. And this is one great tool that isn't available to most people, and you have the opportunity to take that.